I want to see kids getting emotionally sophisticated, and learning adab in the real sense, not just the formality again, but learning how things ought to be, where things go, right? Starting with themselves, and parents starting to identify patterns in their children and in themselves and working on it. Teachers learning about archetypes of personality, and being able to identify people, not to label them and box them, but be able to serve them better, right? Like the knowledge of temperaments is such an important knowledge. It's a crucial knowledge. Imam al-Ghazali said it was wajib for the teacher to have that knowledge. Why? Because that teacher cannot edify, he can't educate, can't edify, he can't cultivate the student if he is comparing the student to another type of person. Right? You can't elevate a phlegmatic student if you are a choleric and deem the choleric as the appropriate way of doing life and doing studies and studying math or whatever. It's inappropriate. It's totally inappropriate. You will break that child. You'll sabotage their educational drive. They just kind of disconnect. And they're already the flags are already kind of slow. That's kind of their gift, but also their struggle. And so you make them even slower and more fragmented, more disconnected. No, it's identifying the elephant is different than the lion, is different than the monkey, is different than the eagle. They're all amazing. They all have their virtues. Can you cultivate them uniquely, individually, as they need to be cultivated? See, that's emotional intelligence. That comes from healing trauma. That comes from you being able to move out of yourself, out of this inner story that you have, this story of separation, that I'm separate from everyone, I'm separate from this person, I'm separate from that person, no one loves me, I'm unworthy, I'm this and that. It's like, no, when you heal, I come into a story of interconnectedness, that I am, Allah is, we are, right? There is a responsibility to Allah. There is a responsibility to the group, to the ummah, to humanity. There is a responsibility to myself. I want to learn how to be at these different levels of reality, my best self, by following the sunnah, by healing my wounds, by shifting my expectation and biases of my nafs, by learning and experience of life through my heart. Being an adult, I differentiate the path of waking up and the path of growing up. They're different paths. They're parallel. And they oftentimes will maybe intersect. But they're different paths, right? What's the path of waking up? The path of waking up is the path of spirituality. It's the dhikr and ibadah and khidmah and sadaqah and hajj and all of that, right? Dua, tahajjud, the classic spiritual practices and rituals. Those things wake you up, especially dhikr. But it may not help you grow up, because the process of growing up is the process of moving out of these childhood dynamics. Again, growing up, meaning we're still kind of a childlike, right? We're not a grown up. What's a grown up? And why do you have to grow up? Well, because we're kind of still like a child. And this is what you find in people who haven't done inner work. They may be 70 years old. Like, I'm sorry, for this, but like Donald Trump, for example, is like, he's 70, I think, right? He's over 70. And he acts like he's 15. Like he hasn't grown up, like, ever. So that's sad. And there's a lot of examples we can bring. Many of our elders are like that, unfortunately. And we ask Allah Ta'ala for afiyah, and a lot of them, it's functions of their trauma, and there's collective trauma and transgenerational trauma. We can talk about these things maybe at a later day.